Ahoy, everybody. Ren Carothers here with your Future Stars forecast. We have multiple graded stakes action for the 2-year-olds this weekend. We've got the Grade 2 Saratoga Special at Saratoga. Also, that's on Friday. Also on Friday, we have the Sorrento for the fillies at Del Mar, also a Grade 2 event. And on Saturday at Del Mar, the Grade 2 Best Pal Stakes. So I'm going to get right to this. We have a lot to talk about. I'm going to start with talking about Friday's Saratoga Special. It goes off as race 9. All 3 of these races, by the way, for these babies are 6 furlongs on the dirt. So starting off right at the top, let's talk about Papitu. He is by Dialed In out of Lady Malkin by Sharp Humor. As you can see, if you have your PPs in front of you, this horse has won both of his starts, both at 5.5 furlongs at Gulfstream Park for Antonio Sano. Johnny B is aboard. The sire Dialed In. He's an AP Indy Line sire through Mineshaft, of course. Now, Dialed In himself was a debut winner at 2 years old. He went on to win the Holy Bull in the Florida Derby, and that was over Shackelford, one of my personal favorites. The dam sire, Sharp Humor, debut winner also at 2 years old. He won a couple of state-bred stakes that year, and at 3, he won the Grade 2 Swale and was a half-length second in the Florida Derby, and that was to Barbaro back in 2006. The second dam, she was a winner at 2 and a stakes place daughter of Richter Scale. Boy, was he fast. He was a Grade 1 sprinter, won the Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash. That was with Migliori aboard, the MiG. And the family includes Grade 1 winners Western Aristocrat, won the Jamaica Handicap, and 1997's Epsom Derby victor, Benny the Dip. So that's Papitu on the inside. Now, let's talk about Hold the Salsa. And who would ever do that, by the way? Who would ever hold the salsa? You can't have chips without salsa, right? No, you can't. So Hold the Salsa, a son of Hold Me Back, who, by the way, is a son of Giants Causeway. Giants Causeway was the 2000 Carte Horse of the Year in Europe. He came over here, ran second to Tiznow in the Breeders' Cup Classic of 2000. So a very, very talented racehorse, and he's been a very influential sire since. His absence is definitely felt. But again, Hold Me Back is a son of Giants Causeway. Now, you'll see that he won his debut against state-bred competition at Belmont Stakes. Richard Logovich, the trainer, is also the owner, and he's also cultivated this female family. It's pretty impressive, actually. But going back to that sire, Hold Me Back, he was a debut winner at 2 years old at Arlington. He liked the synthetic. He was a length and a half second in the Bluegrass Stakes, but that was when it was the all-weather track. His best performance actually came in the slop in the Travers Stakes. He was second, 3.5 lengths behind Summer Bird, and got a 105 buyer for the effort. He went on to win the Grade 3 Dominion Day at Woodbine. The dam is by King Kuget. He was a 4-length debut winner at 2 years old, going a mile at Saratoga on the turf. So this is a very grassy pedigree, to be honest with you. So the fact that they have him on the dirt here, personally, not to tell the owner, breeder, trainer what to do, but I would probably be looking at putting this horse on the grass if it were me. But anyway, being that, having that be said, this horse, again, King Kugat, he loved to rout on the grass. He put in a second place finish in the summer as well in the Pilgrim Stakes. He went on a 4-race winning streak, taking the prize for the Grade 3 American Turf, the Jefferson Cup, the Grade 2 Arlington Classic, and he was second in the Grade 1 Secretariat. He later won the Jamaica Handicap and the Bowling Green. So that's Hold the Salsa. Again, a horse that I personally would probably like to see on the grass. Garoppolo, he is one of 2 horses for trainer Kelly Breen. He is by freshman sire Outwork, who is a son of Uncle Mo. Uncle Mo won the 2010 Breeders' Cup Juvenile, was Eclipse champion, 2-year-old male. So Outwork himself, I mean, it's pretty interesting to see a sire come out like Uncle Mo, who's been productive, because not only does he have Outwork as a freshman sire, he has Lauban, he also has Nyquist, and these babies are running. So Outwork was a 2-year-old debut winner at Keeneland. He went on to win a 6-furlong sprint by 4.25 lengths in his 3-year-old debut. And then he was second in the Tampa Bay Derby, and he took the Grade 1 Wood Memorial in the mud by a head. So this is a horse that could definitely come out sprinting. Again, this is just a 6-furlong race, so that's why that's important to note. The dam, a multiple stakes place sprinter by Kuvi. And the interesting thing here is Kuvi actually won the 2003 Saratoga Special by 7.5 lengths. And that was over Pomeroy and Limehouse. So a very nice field. Kubi went on to win the Grade 1 Futurity by 8.25 lengths, and that was for Steve Asmussen. So a very nice pedigree there in Garoppolo. You can already see the race record for yourself if you have the PPs in front of you. Moving along, Caramel Chip by Midshipman. Okay, I actually have a backtrack for you on Midshipman because Midshipman won the 2008 Breeders' Cup Juvenile and, of course, Eclipse Champion honors for 2-year-old male. So let's go ahead and take a look back at that score. And again, the 2008 Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
As the big white face on the outside square, Eddie's got to do better. Then comes Terrain and Azul Leon. Homeward bound now, and it's Midshipman digging deep. He's calling on all his class. Street Hero is in there. Gallant Sun. Now Square Eddie re-rallying on the inside, and Square Eddie coming again, but can he get through down there? I don't think so. Midshipman's holding him at bay, and Midshipman's coming home to win it, and Midshipman wins it a length and a half to Square Eddie. Street Hero was third, and Terrain came running late to get.
All right, so there's Midshipman. Now, Midshipman actually, he nearly wired the field later on in his career in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, but that was when it was on synthetic. He was just 3/4 of a length beaten ultimately by Furthest Land, and Reddy's Echo was second. But a fun fact about Midshipman that a lot of people forget is that he's also a half brother to Fast Cookie, and you might not recognize her name, but you'll recognize her progeny's name because Fast Cookie is the dam of Frosted. So that's a very nice female family that Midshipman himself comes from. This horse is 50-1, and I mean, you can see why. He's coming out of maiden claiming competition. So this is a very big ask for him to jump in here. I will say the dam there, Nadira, she's by Speightstown. Speightstown won the 2004 Breeders' Cup Sprint as well as Eclipse Champion Sprinter honors. She won one race in her career. It was a 7-furlong turf maiden special weight at Woodbine. And she's out of a mare named Sweet and Ready. And Sweet and Ready is by a Group 1 winner in El Prado. So I don't know. I would put this horse, this is another horse where I feel like you need to go turf. I will say that Sweet and Ready, again, that's the grandmother. She did win the Grade 2 Princess back in 1998 at Hollywood Park. So you do have some graded stakes in the female family to their credit, wins to their credit. But again, this is a big ask for this colt. Moving on, the second entry for Kelly Breen is Pickin' Time. This horse is just coming off a score July 4th at Monmouth Park against maiden special weight competition, but it was only a 5-horse field. Kelly also trains this colt's half brother, Royal Earn. Royal Earn won the State Bred Sprint Stakes. Won a State Bred Sprint Stakes event at Monmouth Park back in July, got a 93 buyer for that effort, and then followed that up with a second place performance, stretching out to a mile in the Irish War Cry. So the horse has a half sibling who's doing quite well. The sire, Stay Thirsty, he might have been a Grade 1 winner in the Hopeful at 2 years old, but he stumbled at the start. He did go on to win the Gotham, the Jim Dandy, and like his sire Bernardini, the Travers. Stay Thirsty was beaten twice by Flat Out in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. He was third in the 2011 edition, and then he just got nailed ahead in 2012. He capped his career with a win in the Cigar Mile over Groupie Doll and Coil. But going back to the fact that Stay Thirsty is the son of Bernardini, of course I have to mention that Bernardini himself, who was 2006's champion 3-year-old colt, he's a son of Hall of Famer AP Indy, who won the Breeders' Cup Classic. So I always love seeing the AP Indy line living on through sons like this. The Dam, she is by champion King of Kings. He won the 2000 Guineas and the National Stakes. He's a son of Sadler's Wells. The second Dam by Wriggle Classic, who was champion 2-year-old in Canada. He won the Grey, the Summer, the Cup and Saucer, the Coronation. He put in second place finishes in the Hollywood Futurity and the Breeders' Cup Juvenile of 1987. He went on to run 5th in the Kentucky Derby, but he did go on also to win the Prince of Wales Stakes. Casa Darrow is your favorite, I believe, on the morning line. He is at 5-2, and with good reason. If you just look, those buyers kind of top, all the horses we've talked about, these buyers tower over that. He is 2 for 2. He won his debut by 8 3/4 lengths, almost 9. Then he came back to win the Grade 3 Bashford Manor by 4 3/4 lengths. He is in here for Steve Asmussen. Ricardo Santana, of course, stays aboard. Why would you jump off this horse? He is owned and bred by Stone Street. So already you know this horse is going to have pedigree just by virtue of that. And I do see I have a comment here. Yo Pettigeek, let's see here. Yo Pettigeek, I have Uncle Chuck smoking Tis the Law and winning the Travers. Thoughts? Okay, I will say this really quickly. It's kind of deviating a little bit. Actually, no, hold that thought. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'll get to that in a minute, Andrew. So hold that question. I will give you my thoughts. Let's talk about Casadero here. He's by Street Sense, okay? Street Sense is the first horse and one of only 2 to have won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, which he did in 2006, and then go on to win the Kentucky Derby. And boy, was that a blowout win. I'm actually going to go ahead and take you to that. I believe I have the replay for you. And for some reason, I don't, because I must have closed that window by accident. Well, trust me, you have to go back and watch it against the 2006 Breeders' Cup Juvenile featuring Street Sense. Blowout win. And of course, as I just mentioned, he went on to win the Kentucky Derby, becoming the first horse to do the double. The other horse is Nyquist, okay? So Casadero by Street Sense out of Wild Gams by Forest Wildcat. Okay, so here's the thing. This horse is a half sibling to Grade 3 Place, Almost Famous. Got the Shodo and the Matt Win Stakes to Tapiture. He's also half to stakes winner Mount Brave, who won the Flashy Lady at Remington Park. The Dam, multiple Grade 3 winning sprinter, by a multiple Grade 3 winning sprinter in Forest Wildcat. Wild Gams won the Cicada, the Safely Kept, the TCA, and was second in the Grade 1 Priora Stakes. The second Dam is a stakes-winning daughter of Quiet American. Quiet American imparts such class. I really love seeing him in pedigrees. The family eventually tails to Linaria. She was champion 2 and 3-year-old filly back in 45 and 46 in Ireland. And another descendant of one of Linaria's lines is multiple Grade 1 winner Cece, who won the Beholder Mile, the Apple Blossom this year. And she got the Shodo just this past weekend in the Clement L. Hirsch. So a very, very nice pedigree for Casadero. I can't knock him on that. He has black type top to bottom. So it'll be interesting to see, just how far he gets bet down. I mean, this is a 2-year-old race. It's definitely fair to try to take your shot. Absolutely. I heard Immunity, who he raced against, will be contesting the Grade 2 Best Pal at Del Mar on Saturday. I'll be talking about that horse later on in the broadcast here. And then Gatsby, who you see, who was 6th in the Bashford Manor. He was next beaten a length in the state-bred Dr. Fager Stakes at Gulfstream Park. So that is Casadero. Now, let's go to Momos by Distorted Humor out of In Spite of Us by Spitestown. This horse won his debut by 6.5 lengths, going 5.5 furlongs at Saratoga, so we know he already likes the track. Distorted Humor was fast. He's a multiple Grade 2 winning sprinter for Elliott Walden. He won the Churchill Downs Handicap, the Commonwealth, the Salvatore Mile. He was 3rd in the Cigar Mile in his career beau. The Dam is not particularly noteworthy, but she is a half-sister to 2015's Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint champion Mongolian Saturday. And she's also a half to Grade 2 Pocahontas winner Daddy's Little Darling, who was 2nd in multiple Grade 1 events, including the Kentucky Oaks. So you definitely have class in this pedigree. The second Dam, Miss Hot Salsa, she won the Pike Place Dancer ahead of a nose defeat in the Grade 2 San Clemente at Del Mar on turf. Now, again, Momos, that was a very, very nice debut. You can see there in the work tab that they tried him on grass. So I think that maybe they were deciding which way they wanted to go with him, because he does have a pedigree that is very versatile. Obviously, it looks like they made the right decision with putting in there the dirt. He rewarded them again with a 6.5 length score. I like this horse. I think this is a horse that could definitely show up again here for Christophe Clement and Manny Franco. And something I really like about Manny Franco as a rider, especially with young horses, is he does not ride scared. He gives these horses a lot of confidence. And you need to have that with the 2-year-old, I'm telling you, because if they sense any bit of nervousness that you don't trust them, then things can kind of fall apart. But Manny is a very, very adept horse with a young horse And that's very important, especially in these these pressure situations where you're now trying to get a 2-year-old a graded stakes graded stakes placing. So moving on to Market Alert. Market Alert, another horse who won his debut, 59 buyer. This was at Belmont going 5 furlongs. He's a gelding by Defunny Bone out of Shakalina by Silver Deputy. The second place horse, Affinity, won next out at Saratoga in state bred maiden special weight competition. Only got a 53 buyer though. So I don't know what we can glean about just the field that he beats on debut, other than maybe not the same types he's facing here. So Sire to Funny Bone, he won the 2009 Saratoga Special when it was 6.5 furlongs, and he won it by 10.5 lengths. He went on to win the Grade 2 Futurity, the Hutchison, the Swale, and the Woody Stevens. The Dam, she was stakes placed in Illinois State Bred Sires sales event. Sometimes they have stakes races for horses who exit sales regionally, and it's just restricted to them. This mare was stakes placed in a stakes race like that. The second Dam, Loreline, she won the West Long Beach at Monmouth. And the family does include multiple grade stakes winner Limousine Liberal, who was second to Run Happy in the 2015 Grade 1 King's Bishop in just his 3rd career start. So there is some black type in there that is noteworthy. This is a horse that I'm particularly fond of, the Ride of a Lifetime. I will say Momos, going back to Momos, he's 6-1 on the morning line. Market Alert, whom I just talked about, 20-1 on the morning line. Ride of a Lifetime, 4-1. I really do like this horse a lot for Ignacio Correas. Jose Ortiz has the mount. He rode him last out where he won by 8.25 lengths. It was a 6 furlong maiden special weight at Keeneland. Prior to that, he had debuted back on June 19th at Churchill Downs, was second that day to Jackie's Warrior, who's also in this race. In fact, just to the Ride of a Lifetime's outside. In fact, there were 3 horses to run out of the last race. One winner, Little Alex, took a maiden special weight at Indiana Grand and got a 51 buyer. So not very impressive there, but the pedigree here is impressive. And we'll just start from the top. Candy Ride himself, champion miler in Argentina, came over to the States, wins the Pacific Classic, and so gets a Grade 1 on the dirt here. The mom won the debutante stakes at Churchill at 2 years old. So there you have not only precociousness, but precociousness that can win a stakes race that early. She got a Grade 3 winning in the slop at Oaklawn. It was a 6-horse field in the Honeybee. Oh, she got a Grade 3 placing rather in the slop at Oaklawn, but that was a 6-horse field in the Honeybee Stakes, which was won by Terra Promessa. The Dam Sire, Proud Citizen, he won the Grade 2 Lexington Stakes ahead of a 2nd place finish at 23-1 to War Emblem in the 2002 Kentucky Derby. He was next 3rd in the Preakness. Now, the second Dam is by Go Sapper. Go Sapper won the 2004 Breeders' Cup Classic. In fact, he holds the record for the fastest classic ever run. The family, and this is where it gets really geeky for me. I love this. Okay, so the family includes Grade 2 winner, Grade 1 place, Nassau Royale, sapling winner, Bio, champion, 3-year-old filly, Rivadier, and Bold Nesian. And this is what is so cool. Okay, so Bold Nesian would go on to sire Bold Ruckus and Bold Reasoning. And Bold Reasoning is the sire of Triple Crown champion Seattle Slew. So it's not only interesting just from that little factoid alone, but it's also really cool because this colt's great-grandmother is a daughter of Seattle Slew. And then if you look back up at Candy Ride is by Ride the Rails, whose dam was a half-sister to Bold Nesian. So you're breeding back into the family. So you've got it now top and bottom. And I always love seeing that because you're trying to reinforce genetics. And in this case, it's the line that produced Seattle Slew through his sire, again, Bold Nesian. So I find that, when people are trying to balance things out genetically, very intriguing. And this horse has already, again, put in a really, really nice performance. And coming off that, looking well. I've seen photos posted by Ignacio Correas recently on Twitter. You can check out his Twitter feed to see yourself. And the horse looks in fantastic flesh. He's very, very, very impressive physically. So a horse I like, the Ride of a Lifetime, 4-1 on the morning line. Again, to his outside. Oh, I see more I see more comments here. Let me see here. Barton, hello, Red. Amazing lowdown as ever. Thank you so much, Barton. Sometimes I have too much information and I need to figure out how to best disseminate it all. We also see some other questions here. Yeah, okay. I'll get to those in a bit. All right, so let's go on to Jackie's Warrior. Now, Jackie's Warrior, this is a Keeneland September yearling by McLean's Music out of Unicorn Girl by AP 500. You may not have heard of AP 500, but I'll get to that in just a minute. This horse, Jackie's Warrior, is a half to King Theo, who was fifth, beaten 4.5 lengths in the Grade 3 Kitten's Joy that was on turf. And most recently, second ahead in an allowance non-winners of 2 lifetime competition on turf at Ellis Park. The sire, McLean's Music, you've heard of him, I am sure. He ran one time, but he notched the highest buyer of any debut 2-year-old ever, 114, okay? And that was a win at Santa Anita by 7 1/4 lengths. Now, what is interesting, and this is why I told my friend back here, let's see, where was the comment? Right here, Yo Petty Geek about Uncle Chuck. Okay, so here's the interesting thing, right? Okay, so we're talking about the sire, McLean's Music. Again, the horse to notch the highest 2-year-old debut buyer ever, 114. Uncle Chuck is out of Forest Music. She herself put in a triple-digit buyer, winning her debut. She went on to win the Grade 2 Honorable Miss. She went on to be a very good producer, not only in producing him, but Kentuckian, and she is also the dam of Uncle Chuck. Uncle Chuck's by Uncle Mo. But yeah, McLean's Music and Uncle Chuck are half brothers. How cool is that, right? And as far as what I think, you know, I am a huge fan of the whole team. Saratoga, Barclay Tag, Tiz the Law is an incredibly exciting horse. I was rewatching Uncle Chuck win the LaSalle Derby and LaSalle Derby, and I got to tell you, not only watching that, but then also going back and watching one of his works before he was even named Uncle Chuck. This horse is so efficient in the way he moves; it's almost scary. So I do think he could definitely spoil Tiz the Law's bid in the Travers Stakes. Uncle Chuck has drawn post 3. I believe he's 5-2 on the morning line. I have to double check that again, but a very exciting horse himself, and no surprise coming out of the barn of Bob Baffert. Okay, so back to Jackie's Warrior. Again, a son of McLean's Music, who again is a half brother to Uncle Chuck, out of Unicorn Girl by AP 500. The dam was a claimer, but she did win 19 of 54 starts. She earned just $500,000 doing that, and she did it sprinting. The dam sire, again, little known, but a son of AP Indy. He was a multiple stakes place runner. He was third in the Round Table, the Oklahoma Derby, and the Super Derby. But his dam was a half-sister to Sakawista, who won the Schuylerville at 2 years old and went on to win the Grade 1 Spinster ahead of Triumph in the 87 Breeders' Cup Distaff. And I have that replay for you right now. Let's check it out.
Clever girl now trying to catch her. Sakawista with something left for the final 3 furlongs. Still clear by 2.5. Clever girl is racing second. Ooey Baby is third. Ms. Margie is roused now. Infinidad will put her run in on the rail. And here she comes. A quarter mile out. Sakawista set down for the drive. She leads by 2.5 lengths as they come to the final furlong. Clever girl up kicks on the outside. Second, Infinidad still 6 lengths back. They're in the final furlong. Randy Romero putting her up to Sakawista, trying to hold on with her. Clever girl can't get to her. They're running out of ground, and it's going to be Sakawista wire to wire. Clever girl was second, and farther back it's a photo for show. Randy Romero, no doubt about it. He put Sakawista right on the lead, and she went about her task, zipped through relatively moderate early fractions, and had plenty left for the long stretch here at Hollywood Park.
And then, of course, the late Randy Romero, whom we definitely remember. He would go on to win the Breeders' Cup Distaff the following year with Personal Ensign, my all-time favorite distaffer. Very cool to watch these replays back. It really is. So moving on, the family, the female family of Jackie's Warrior, trained by Steve Asmussen, and Joel Rosario is aboard. I should have mentioned that to you. The female family includes Grade 1 winner Mayo on the side, who won the Humana Distaff, and Sovereign Champion 2-year-old filly of 1994, Honky Tonk Tune, as well as Istria, who was champion 2-year-old filly in Germany. So that is your field for the Grade 2 Saratoga Special. I know Roderick, you see him on the PPs. I am almost sure, I'm like 95% sure that he's actually heading into the Best Pal on Saturday. So I'll talk about him when we talk about that field. Let's talk about the Grade 2 Sorrento, which will also be run on Friday. That will be at Del Mar. Goes off as race 8. 6 furlongs on the main track. I'm not going to talk about the whole field. In fact, I'm only going to talk about one horse in the field, and that is the first-time starter. Get on the bus. So get on the bus. Another progeny of Uncle Mo. I was talking about Uncle Mo because there was an outwork in the Saratoga Special. And Uncle Mo, again, to remind you all, won the 2010 Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He also was Eclipse champion 2-year-old colt. And he's just been incredible as a sire. And I will say this, I watched this filly's Breeze Up. She was sold at OBS March for $340,000. And I got to tell you, she looks good. She looks the part. She looks like an Uncle Mo. And she worked 10-1 at OBS March. And I got to tell you, Uncle Mo, not only has he been really good with his colts, but he's been really good with his fillies too. Not only did he, again, sire a 2-year-old champion in Nyquist, he sired, just this past year, we saw just how good Bast was, as well as Donna Veloce. I mean, Bast won the Del Mar debutante last year, and of course, that's at Del Mar, so same surface as the Sorrento. She went on to win the Chandelier. She was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile filly. She won the Starlet, and at 3 years old, the Santa Ynez. In that same Breeders' Cup Juvenile fillies, we saw Donna Veloce almost wire the field in just her 2nd career start ever. So let's go ahead and watch that back, since we see the 2 Uncle Mo daughters run 2nd and 3rd in the 2019 Breeders' Cup Juvenile fillies.
Move. Donna Veloce has taken command as they come to the top of the stretch and is off the turn in front. The leader by a length and a half. British Idiom on the outside 2nd. Past is 3rd at the rail. And then Perfect Alibi, who's got to pick it up for a longer run. Donna Veloce, British Idiom confronts her. And Donna Veloce digs down deep. Donna Veloce and British Idiom. British Idiom ahead in front as they come to the wire. Donna Veloce battles on, but British Idiom won it, taking the juvenile fillies over Donna Veloce. And then it was Bast and Perfect Alibi in 147.07 seconds.
So there you go. And I, when I mentioned the Starlet that Bast won, the horse who was 2nd that day, Donna Veloce kind of turned the tables on her. Donna Veloce went on to win her 3-year-old debut, whereas Bast did it in the Santa Ynez. Donna Veloce did it in the Santa Isabel. This filly, Get on the Bus, she's a half-sister to a couple of stakes place turfers in Europe, Romeo Lima and Camp Courage. Both of them were winners at 2 years old. And this filly is trained by Doug O'Neill. Should mention that. Of course, there's no issue with him getting a 2-year-old to win first out. And it's not obscene. It's not unheard of to have a horse like this come out and win a graded stakes race at first asking, especially when you kind of look at the rest of the field. So anyway, getting back to her family, the Dam is a half-sister to 2014's Dubai World Cup victor, African Story. Now, her sire, you'll see, Halling here, okay? He was 1996's champion in Europe, and he was a multiple stakes winner on dirt. And this is when Nat Al-Shiva was dirt back in like 95. And he also had run there in 96 as well. But he also was a Group 1 winner on turf. He won the Eclipse on turf twice. He won the Juddmonte International twice. He also won the Prix d'Isfahan. He did try the Breeders' Cup Classic. It was in 96 when Cigar won. It was his only start with Lasix, but he ultimately finished last. So it wasn't the best of goes for poor Halling there that day. But again, these horses are all running without Lasix. So it's kind of interesting when you look at these lines now, pedigree wise, it's the European influence might be more impactful now as we're going forward with these pedigrees, because we know that those horses accomplished what they did without Lasix. We'll talk about the second dam, Blixen, a stakes place daughter of Gone West. She was a winner at 2 years old. The great grandma, Danish by Danehill. She won the 94 Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup, and it was over a field which included the dam of Giant's Causeway, Mariah's Storm. So very nice field there. And the family tales, like me, to Mesopotamia, because I'm half Iraqi. So it tails to Mesopotamia, but in this case, I'm talking about the horse. She was champion 2-year-old filly in England, but I had to make the joke because that's just me. I'm a corny person. What can I tell you? So, and by the way, what I meant to say was Cigar. This was a 95 win. Hauling tried the Breeders' Cup Classic. That was the year Cigar won it. So again, that's Get on the Bus in the Grade 2 Sorrento on Friday. I think, as you know, even without the experience, she looks to me like the horse to beat. I don't know if there's a morning line out. I'm trying to check on that right now for you. There wasn't okay, yes, it's on here now. She is 5-1 on the morning line. I would take that all day. All right. So on Saturday at Del Mar, you have the Grade 2 Best Pal. It goes off as race 6 for the 2-year-old colts. And let's go through the whole field, because this is a pretty good field. O'Neill has 2 horses in the mix. The first one being Sonic Breeze. He's another son of McLean's Music. If you're just joining us, I mentioned earlier that McLean's Music, he got 114 buyer on debut as a 2-year-old. It's the highest buyer ever notched by such a, in such a circumstance. McLean's Music is a half brother to a horse with some recent noteworthiness, and I am talking about, of course, Uncle Chuck, who will be contesting the Travers Stakes this Saturday against His the Law. So very interesting there. McLean's Music himself, by Distorted Humor, who I also discussed earlier, a very fast multiple Grade 2 winner. Sonic Breeze is out of Miss Hetty by AP Indy's Son. Congrats. And she hails from a female family, which includes graded stakes winners Glenfield Gardens, Indian Vale, and great granny here, Sonic Breeze's great granny, is Grade 1 test winner Marley Bale. So the other Doug O'Neill trainee in the race is right next to Sonic Breeze, and that is Ambivalent. And you never want to be ambivalent, right? No, you want to have an opinion. You want to feel strongly about something. This horse is coming off a second place finish on debut. It was 4.5 furlongs back on June 21st. So there's definitely room for improvement, of course. He cost $550,000 at OBS March. They have high hopes for him, I'm sure, and want to get that return on investment. He, like I said, debuted back in June. He got a 64 buyer for that effort. And Constitution, this is his second crop. Constitution's been very successful already in just his freshman season. He's a son of Tappet, Tappet a son of Pulpit, Pulpit a son of AP Indy. So there we've got that Hall of Famers influence again. Constitution won the Florida Derby as well as the Dawn. And the dam here, Scroogey, she's by Smart Strike. She won just once, routing on grass, but her dam, Roshani, was a multiple graded stakes winner on the green with scores in the Las Palmas, the Gallarette, and the Matchmaker. The family includes the speedy Binalong, Grade 1 Maker's Mile winner, Data Link, and another Grade 1 winner in Hymn Book. And Hymn Book won the Dawn back in 2012. He also capped his career with a 5th place finish in the 2013 Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. So you got a very nice pedigree there. And again, I would say there's room for improvement. You'll see that the horse he ran second to is a horse who's also in this race, Weston. And Weston's a horse I really think, I don't know what the morning line is. I want to check real quick. Weston is installed at, let's see, Weston, where are you? Oh, I don't have the morning line for this. For the Best Pal just yet, but Weston's a horse I really, really like in here. Moving on, we'll talk about Schnell for Simon Callahan, who, by the way, trained the aforementioned Donna Veloce. So he was $200,000 at OBS March, and his sire, Star Guitar, who was a huge celebrity there on the Louisiana circuit. I mean, Star Guitar he won 24 of 30 starts and nearly $2 million. I mean, he was a huge fan favorite out there, but he stands for only $7,500. So for this colt to up the bid to 200, he was obviously very impressive there at OBS March. He did work 10 flat, so I'm sure that caught some attention. He's a full brother also to Minute to Stardom, whose wins include the Grade 2 Honorable Miss, and Wild About Star, who won the very one at Pimlico. And then the dam, Wild About Marie, she's by a Grade 1 sprinter in Wildcat Air. Wildcat Air was a debut 2-year-old winner, so you have the precociousness and you have the graded stakes class. Wild About Marie herself was a multiple stakes winner, and she has, for example, the Buffalo Trace Franklin County at Keeneland as one of those scores on her resume. So he's a very nicely bred horse. In terms of that, despite you see a $7,500 stud fee, again, he costs $200,000 for good reason. Again, this is for Simon Callahan and owner Kaleem Shaw. Moving on, Roderick. Now, this is the spot where we think we're going to see this Wesley Ward trainee pop up. He costs $550,000. He's by Into Mischief. I say this all the time. But if you don't know, I will remind you. Into Mischief, a Grade 1 winner at 2 years old, won the Cash Call Futurity, but also a half brother to Beholder, 4-time Eclipse champion, who won the Breeders' Cup Fillies at 2 years old, and then capped her career in the Breeders' Cup Distaff in that exciting finish over Songbird at the wire there. There are some people who still say Songbird won, but I love Songbird. It was Beholder. So then you also, Into Mischief is also a half brother to Mendelssohn. Mendelssohn won the 2017 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, and then went on to show a lot of class on dirt in the Travers and the Jockey Club Gold Cup as well. So very versatile family. Roderick himself, he came out and he won his debut by 8 1/4 lengths. It was a short field, 4 horses, but still he got a 73 buyer for the effort. That was at Belmont Park, and the fact that they're shipping this horse in for this obviously speaks to their confidence in him. He's a full brother to One Liner, and you may remember One Liner. He won the first 3 starts of his career, including the Grade 3 Southwest, and then the grandmother is a Grade 3 placed half sister to Champagne winner Daredevil, as well as Albertus Maximus. And Albertus Maximus won the Dawn and the 2008 Breeders' Cup Dirt, but it was really synthetic mile. So you've got Breeders' Cup head cred there with Roderick, who, is undoubtedly, I would be shocked if this horse is not your favorite. And that is for Wesley Ward, and he's got Flavian Pratt to ride. This is for Breeze Easy Stables. Okay, moving on to Herd Immunity. He is one of 2 for trainer Peter Miller. The blinkers are coming off, and this is after a 3rd place finish in the Grade 3 Bashford Manor, which we talked about because Casa Darrow is the horse who won that, and he is your favorite in the Saratoga Special. So we'll want to watch that race and see if it flatters the form. Herd Immunity was beaten 6 1/2 lengths that day. He's a son of Union Rags, who won the first 3 starts of his career, including the Grade 2 Saratoga Special by 7 1/2 lengths, the Champagne by 5 1/4. But then came the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and that's where this happened. Let me show you.
Creative cause now. Here's Union Rags, and look at him slide out in the center of the track. And Union Rags went right throughout, but he's coming. Creative cause. Henson is running an absolutely huge one on the inside. Henson just keeps on going. Union Rags is shifting to the outside. Creative cause is third. Henson keeps going. Union Rags, Henson, and Union Rags. Henson, the more they asked, the more he gave. And Henson, what a thriller. Henson to Union Rags, a little unlucky. He shifted ground. Creative Cause was right there in third round. A huge one. And take charge indeed.
Yeah. But Union Rags, he did redeem himself. At 3 years old, he won the Fountain of Youth by 4. He had a settle for 3rd in the Florida Derby, and then had a bad go of it in the Kentucky Derby, but came through with triumph in the Belmont Stakes, the test of the champion. So, another fun fact about Union Rags, which I'll share, is that his dam, Union Rags dam Tempo, also is, Yeah, Union Rag's dam, Tempo, is also the dam of Tempo West, who is the dam of declaration of war. So that's kind of cool. They're very closely related. And I always like throwing that out there because a lot of people don't realize that. So that, again, is just the sire. The dam here, enhanced by Malibu Moon, who's a son of AP Indy. Again, we're seeing AP Indy everywhere in the influence of these horses, right? She's a full sister to Tampa Bay Derby and Ohio Derby winner Perspective. And then the second dam, who's grandma. Second dam is a stakes-winning daughter of 1998's Breeders' Cup Classic champion, Awesome Again. Awesome Again is also the sire of Ghost Zapper. And then the fourth dam is multiple Grade 1 winner and champion North Sider. So he's got a very, very nice pedigree, undoubtedly. And we'll see what happens with him in terms of the odds. The horse that I'm going to be looking at most closely is Weston. We see Drayden Van Dyke rode this horse on debut. He stays aboard him here. That debut was back on June 21st. Again, it was that same race that Ambivalence exited. And he only got a 67 buyer, but again, there's always room for improvement going forward. Here's the interesting thing. Okay, so Hit It a Bomb. Hit It a Bomb only stands for $5,000. This colt as a yearling only costs $7,000. But Hit It a Bomb is a Breeders' Cup champion. I'm actually let's go ahead and watch that now, actually. The 2015 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. I'll show you that, and then I will explain a little bit further why I feel like they certainly got a deal on Weston.
Turning for home in front. They've got a 2.5 length lead, and they're 45-1. It is still Manhattan trying to gut out another furlong. Dressed in her maize has now moved up alongside. The Narrow Force is coming too, and so too is Birchwood, and so too is Hit It a Bomb, and Hit It a Bomb is getting up to win the Juvenile Turf, running down Arrow Force and Birchwood in the final strides in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf in a final time of 1 minute, 38.86 seconds.
Mrs. Gaines, I'd like to ask.
I almost took myself out of the feed there. So how cool is that, right? Okay, Hit It a Bomb, like knocked out of the park. He himself is a son of Warfront. And he's also a half brother. I got to tell you this because the precociousness. Hit a Bomb not only got it, but he also his full sister, Brave Anna. She was a highway in England at 2 years old, so she got as well. I mean, she won the Chevrolet Park, which is a Group 1 race over there. She also won the Albany Stakes. So it's a very nice pedigree already there. Hit It a Bomb. He won the first 3 starts at 2 years old, including that Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf at Keeneland, and then he came back at 3 years old to contest the Breeders' Cup Mile. He finished 9th that day, but only 4 3/4 lengths off the triumphant Taurus. And Taurus set a record winning the Breeders' Cup Mile that year of 131 3/5. So nothing lost there in defeat. The dam here is a stakes place daughter of Dixie Union. Dixie Union won the Best Pal back in 1999 over exchange rate. So you've got the credentials there, right? There's almost a feeling like being bred to do this because you've got this precocity and you've got now the credentials of a horse who won this very same race. The second dam is an unraced daughter of Mount Livermore, who's one of my favorite influences for speed. Again, this is a 6 furlong sprint. The third dam is Grade 1 winner Trumpets Blair. She won the Arlington, Washington Lassie. And the female includes some major names that cannot be ignored for the class they bring to the table. And the thing is, it's so interesting too, because if you had just simply looked at the catalog page of this horse when he went through the ring, the names I'm about to tell you were not on that page. And I'm thinking had they been, they might have bolstered that price because this family is responsible for Grade 1 winner Albert the Great, who won the Jockey Club Gold Cup at 3 years old, was second in the Travers, 4th in the Classic that year. And then at 4, he won the Widener, the Brooklyn, and Suburban, and he was second in the Whitney, the Woodward, and 3rd in the Classic. But also another member of this family, and I'm so excited to share this because it really gives that insight. This is like how we're trying to look for diamonds in the rough, right? A member of this family is very, very talented horse, a horse who's won a Grade 1 race in every year she's run. Kicking off with the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf, and that's Rushing Fall. Okay, so let's take a look back at the 2017 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf, which she won impressively.
Juliet Capulet is right there. Ultima D comes under a ride. Rushing Fall is charging 5 wide. And Fatale Beret on the far outside, and they're into the stretch. And here is Rushing Fall. Rushing Fall and Javier Castellano have secured command. Here, Best Performance is finishing well on the outside. September from the clouds is closing in 2. But here's the wire, and Rushing Fall has done it. Best Performance was second, then September, followed by a photo between Significant Form and Fatale Beret. The final time of the Juvenile Fillies Turf was 1 minute 36.09 seconds.
First of our Breeders' Cup races for
all right. Thank you, Jay Prickman. So, okay, the female family again of Weston, that's the horse I'm talking about. Weston for Ryan Hansen includes Rushing Fall. Rushing Fall is still awesome, okay? I mean, we see a lot of horses who show talent at 2 years old, and then they just kind of even out. Other horses catch up to them maturation-wise, and then no, this mare has not lost a step. She's won a Grade 1 every year, picking up the QE2 in 2018, the Jenny Wiley, and the Just a Game in 2019, and she just repeated in the Jenny Wiley this year. So again, that is Weston by a Breeders' Cup champion and Hit It a Bomb. And from the female family of Albert the Great, Rushing Fall, Trumpets Blair. It's a very nice pedigree and one where I really would be excited to see what he does going forward. And I think you're going to get a nice price on him because everybody's going to be looking at Roderick. So even if you don't want to use him on top, I mean, definitely a horse I think you have to include in your exotic plays. So moving on to the horse who rounds out the field, and that is Gerther. This is the second runner for Peter Miller. He's by Brody's Cause. Brody's Cause is a son of Giants Causeway, who I talked about earlier. And then this colt is out of Tea Dancer by Afternoon Delight. Now, you can see there in the PPs, if you have them in front of you, this horse debuted in that same race with Weston and Ambivalent back on June 21st. He was 5th that day, got a 51 buyer. He did not improve much, even though he finally got that score and got that photo taken on July 11th. He just kind of bumped it up to a 59. Brody's Cause, he's a son, again, of Giants Causeway. Brody's Cause himself won the Grade 2 Breeders' Futurity at 2 years old and was the Breeders' Futurity a Grade 1 or a Grade 2 at that time? I can't recall because I believe these graded stakes have, changed from year to year, obviously, based on what they feel the depth of talent is year to year. And let me just make sure, because I don't want to give incorrect information out. I would hate to do that. I don't want to, it was a Grade 1 that year. So it was Grade 1 Breeders' Futurity for Brody's Cause. He followed that up with a 3rd place finish to Nyquist in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And at 3, he won the Bluegrass Stakes. Now, the Dam Sire Afternoon Delights, he won his first 5 starts. 3 of those were at 2 years old. That included the Hollywood Futurity. He went on to win the San Vicente, the San Felipe. He nearly won the Santa Anita Derby. He lost by a head, but he got another Grade 1 win later, and that was the Malibu, which was his first start at 4 years old. The dam here, Tea Dancer, was unraced, but Gerther's grandmother was a Grade 2 winner and precocious. She won multiple legs of the Florida Stallion Series stakes for filly, so it's like the Desert Vixen, and so on and so forth. So it's a very nice pedigree, but I just don't really see this horse factoring unless he makes a huge, and I mean huge, jump forward. So we'll see what happens there. I just want to check on one little other bit of information for you to see if there's anything here that I missed. And let me see here. I want to see other questions right here. Oh, yes, boy, Mount Livermore is a huge source of speed. Anytime you see him in a pedigree and you're looking at a horse who's in a sprint, you can feel like there's all the more incentive to use. Let's see here. We got other, let's see. Smile woke up today. I remember Street Sense Road by Hall of Fame rider Pat Day in 2006 plate. Okay, let's see. Somebody herd immunity. Are you a fan of the name? Yeah, so it's fitting right now, right? Definitely in these times. So that is basically your rundown for these 3 two-year-old stakes races. Which there's more graded, there's more 2-year-old stakes action this weekend, but these are the ones that are graded. Again, we talked about the Grade 2 Saratoga Special, the Grade 2 Sorrento for the fillies at Del Mar, and then both of them being run on Friday. And then on Saturday, you have the Grade 2 Best Pal for the colts. So, you know, we need to stay on top of this action. I know the Sorrento definitely doesn't look like it has the deepest of fields. But maybe that gives you, the opportunity to get in on a horse who's 5-1 on the morning line as Get on the Bus is listed. So just to go over real quick, the horses I kind of am most interested in each of those races. If we're going to be Casadero in the Saratoga Special, I think the Ride of a Lifetime could definitely get the job done. In the Sorrento, again, Get on the Bus, the first-time starter. And in the Grade 2 Best Pal, I am looking at Weston for Ryan Hansen and Drayden Van Dyke to, make that step forward and contend against Roderick, at least, to use him underneath. If you have any further questions, of course, you can always tweet at me at Ren Carothers. I'm happy to answer if I can. And in the meantime, if there's a 2-year-old you think I should know about, of course, let me know. And I will see you actually on Saturday. I am teaming back up for hashtag BC Live with my friend Dan Torgman. We also have Brand Weinstein coming in, who's co-hosting. And then we also will have Matt Bernier handicapping along with special guests. So it's going to be a fun time. Watch the Travers with us. Let's be your second screen. And then next week, I will be back with more on these 2-year-olds for your next edition of the Future Stars Forecast. Hopefully, we'll be talking about one of these horses who wins big, right? Okay, until then, talk to you later.